So I sent my email yesterday after reviewing it a few times, and the response was predictably devoid of any sign of understanding and compromise. And that's okay. I'm finding myself not so worried about that. I think I have, there was no expectation on my part when I sent it. And while on one hand, I've been managing to maintain a feeling of playfulness and joy, I have been noticing that the last few days, my body has been definitely in fight or flight mode. My nervous system activated, big adrenaline dumps at various points in the day, and this despite my meditation and breath work and exercise practices, daily practices. And a friend of mine I was talking to was saying to me, well, it's because you are somewhere you're resisting the experience. And I thought, no, I'm not. That's exactly the opposite of what I'm doing. I'm surrendering. But then I kind of stopped and I went, well, yeah, maybe I am, because I did say how I was questioning myself, when I sent that email. Was I too much? And there was a part of me, if not all of me, that was worrying about that, and I found myself, avoiding the person that I sent the email to, and feeling quite tight in my body whenever I interact with them. And this friend of mine invited me to do a practice which I do fairly regularly, which is a kind of stream of consciousness to explore fears. And it's quite interesting because I start off with a fear that's fairly obvious, and then with the stream of consciousness, I keep writing and go deeper and deeper and deeper. And I did it this morning, and it was quite interesting because this stream of consciousness uncovered that I was resisting the experience because what I was resisting was my wild part's desire to burn everything to the ground. Everything. Like I really feel at the moment really strongly this urge to burn down relationships, work, even make decisions without thinking about my kids. It's, I don't know if you can see in my face, but there is a quality to that desire which is really, really juicy. And at the same time, I'm really scared of it. I'm really fearful of what that would mean. And as I did this kind of inventory, I worked out that I'm actually afraid of being out of control. I'm afraid of, the more obvious things, like losing the love and approval of my loved ones. And then I did another one which was more specific about my fears around my inner beast or my wild part. And what I discovered that was new, that I hadn't really thought about is that if I allow that part of me to express herself, that she will make me unfit to belong anywhere. And I didn't realize I had that fear, because, and it makes sense in my case, because I grew up as the daughter of a diplomat, and we moved around a lot, and actually I really loved that life. But at the same time, it's not until very recently that I felt that I truly belonged anywhere. Even in my own family, I didn't feel like I belonged. I felt like the ugly duckling. Um, so that was an interesting one. And I'm also afraid of what she's going to make me do, because she's powerful, right? So if I let her express herself, I'm afraid that she's going to make me do uncomfortable and painful things. Um, when a part of me, the good girl part of me, only wants peace and comfort and not to be challenged. Somehow I have a feeling that ship has sailed. Um, and then the last insight that I'm going to share with you about from this stream of consciousness practice that I did this morning was that old, thorny, uncomfortable narrative um, around being rescued. So I have one of my, if those of you who are familiar with the drama triangle, the which is perpetrator, victim, rescuer. Um, there's a part of me that has always wanted to be desired to be rescued, and there's a fear that I will not be worthy of being rescued. I mean, how absurd is that, right? But it came out when I was doing this kind of stream of consciousness thing and not editing what was coming out. And I read this and I read it and I just laugh. Um, but there it is. Some of the uglier, maybe I don't want to label them. Some of those more shadowy parts that were hiding underneath my contraction. And as soon as I realized these things, my body relaxed. I'm feeling much more relaxed now than I did before. So let's see how I go.